Today, I have Christofer Fogelberg here, Vice President from GIPE. Warm welcome, Christofer.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
I would like to talk about GIPE. I assume that many of our viewers, they might not know what GIPE is. Can you tell us more about it?
GIPE is the second oldest real estate guild in Spain. Yeah, it was founded in 1985 by a group of promoters that wanted to get together and sell their own developments, as well as estate agents, because before that you can only do it together with an API agent. No, so then that's how GIPE was formed. In 1986, it became a national association, so we're expanding out from Malaga. And actually until 1999, there was a law that came in and changed the legislation in 2000. But up until that time, you could only work legally in Spain as a state agent, either being an API or an GIPE agent. No? So GIPE was very early in certifying estate agents and working nationally.
40 years of history, there's a lot has happened.
Oh, yeah.
What are the major changes that has happened in the last 40 years?
Well, there's lots of it, I guess. I mean, I've been a member since now about 10 years of GIPE, around 10, 12 years, something like that. And I came into the board of directors a few years ago. At that time, the board was consistent of some people that actually founded it. So they were a little bit coming to an age, and there was a change of generational shift, let's say, no? GIPE has a lot of history and a lot of good things. We have a fantastic office in the center of Malaga. It's a stone's throw from Calle Larios in the beautiful Palacio Salinas. It is a beautiful historical building. When there was a change in the board, we did quite a few changes. So we first of all changed it from becoming a Spanish association to a bilingual association. So we're the only real Spanish and English bilingual association of estate agents in Spain. We reformed the office as well to change it from an office with lots of small little rooms to a big co-working center where our associates can go and work, included in the fees. We also have obviously the presidential office where the board sits, or the lawyers that we have as well are. And one of the biggest changes was also that we put back in the new certification courses, that we updated and did it more practical.
Okay, let's talk about the president. Let's talk about the certification. Let's start with the president. Who is the president of GIPE?
The president of GIPE is one of the founders. He's called Fred van Krimpen. Alfred van Krimpen is also an historical figure on the Costa del Sol. He has been since the 1970s active as a state agent here, and also promoters. He built lots of developments in around Fuengirola, Mijas Costa, also even the port of Fuengirola. It was in the 80s he built, and so on. So it's a person with lots of experience and a lot of international experience as well.
I can imagine that he must have been one of the first foreign real estate agent in Spain back that time.
Oh yeah, for sure. So there's a lot of changes he has seen in the market since he started sometimes in, I think, 1974, 1975.
Okay, how can you become a member of GIPE? How can you be a member of the organization? What do you need? What are the requirements?
To become a GIPE agent, there's a few things that we want to put forward. So what we want to convey, our biggest thing, is the quality of the service to the clients and the customer protection, which is written in our statutes. No? So someone who's an estate agent in Spain and want to get certified will have to go through a few small courses. They're not tremendously difficult, but it's a base, basically, of legal conveyance. So it's not a courses that will teach you how to become an estate agent, because most people that come to us already more or less know, but it's how to comply with the laws that a lot of them do not know. Andalusian law, national law, what documentation we actually need as an estate agent to take in before we're showing a property, anti-money laundering procedures on a European level as well, data protection, GDPR. So basically, the courses that we do for someone to become a member, a certified member, is basically teaching them how to comply, yeah, which is also good for them, because then they know how not to get fines if they get an inspection, which there are. Yeah. And another thing, when they become members, included in the fee, we have the responsibility insurance. Yeah, meaning that the clients have another set of protection in case. No, we have I don't think we hardly have any claims to this over the years, but also it's a benefit for the members because the cost of this insurance, if you take it out personally, is quite high. But as we have it as association, it's included. And I mean, at the moment we're charging, I think, 50 euros a month, or something like that, for a member, including the insurance, co-working center, legal advice, all the other support, monthly events, all these things. And also the courses are available in English and Spanish, and you do them online on your own time. It doesn't take very long, but I think it's important.
Fantastic! You already answered my next question, which
sorry.
which would have
I
been
just go babbling on.
what are the benefits of becoming a member? But as you said, co-working, liability insurance, networking event, and updated knowledge, legal support. What about the MUC department? The MASC department.
Oh yeah, I was thinking that as another department. Let me just cut in and say one thing for the networking, as you mentioned. I know you're actually our true expert in the networking. One thing that is quite interesting that we get a networking that's both on a national level, but also on a regional level in another way that estate agents, for example, that Marbella normally don't meet estate agents from Nerja or for Zarfia, Malaga, and it works a little bit different in different places, but they all come together in our networking events, and a lot of businesses being made that wouldn't have been made without GIPE. So that I think is quite exciting as well. No? But now we're going to talk about MASC. No?
Yes, I would like to talk about MASC because that is something just came into law in 2025, and I believe the department at GIPE, the MASC department, just has been created. Can you please say something more about it?
So basically,
what is MASC? Let's first things first.
Basically, MASC is a procedure that is now obligatory for all court cases in Spain. Actually, before you go to court or before in a conflict, you have to come to a MASC, which is a mediation, basically. So you have to show that there's a mediation. And then obviously has to be a certified person or entity that does that. No, so basically it's a way of resolving conflicts before they have to go through court and take all this time and so on and so on. No, Alfred had the idea to have also an in-house MASC department as the first association in Spain to have it. Which we have, and that's basically it. So if there is a conflict or so, it will be handled with our lawyers in the MASC department first before it can go anywhere else. No?
Yeah. Lawyers, GIPE has lawyers. Do you mean that you have lawyers in the office where the members can turn into, where they can ask questions from, who are being supporting them?
Yeah. So we have a bilingual law service as well. Actually, I think they also speak German, so there's even better. No? But the members can call and ask the lawyers questions that they have on a day-to-day basis of basically anything. It can be anything to do with real estate, obviously, but also some like insurance things, rental things, and so on to get another point of view and help with it. No, we also have contract models, all of these things that you would need. The lawyer that is in Malaga is in the office that you can visit him on Fridays, I believe, from 9:30 to 1 or maybe 10 to 2, something like that, in the morning. If you come at 11, then he'll be there. But he's available on phone at all hours. Then we have another lawyer who's in Alicante, who is a very, very experienced lawyer, who's been with GIPE from the beginning, and is an expert in what we call institutional things and the very deep laws, how do you say? So there's a lot of legal knowledge inside of GIPE.
Are there any hot topics currently in GIPE's office?
So a lot of the questions that we've been having during this year, actually over the last 2 years, but there's been a lot of changes in the legislation about tourist rentals. And as you know, the national government is on a witch hunt for the tourist rentals, blaming them for that there are no cheap rental apartments available because they all go to Airbnb and so on. No? And then on that side, so we have them on a national level. Then we have in this area in Andalusia, no, we have the regional government because the housing department, let's say that the laws about housing is actually governed by the 17 autonomous regions more than the national level. No, so then it depends in each one. So we have different rules in Catalonia, different rules in Valencia, and different rules in Andalusia. And in Andalusia especially, we had a change in legislation in January 2024, and now there has been another national change of legislation on how to obtain your short-term rental license. So there's a lot of questions about that. Some town halls are limiting the licenses. Malaga, for example, in different areas you cannot get anymore. Fuengirola as well is very difficult to get rental licenses. We get a lot of questions about that. But I mean, I personally can agree that there is a little bit too many short-term rentals apartments. It's not like a model that should be that emphasized. But then again, the economy is what it is. So there's more control, and they're making it a bit more difficult to do it. And if you want to have a strict compliance in your short-term holiday rental apartment, there's a lot of things to do that puts you really on the level of a hotel. So that is something that we have a lot of questions about.
What would you consider the biggest challenge for real estate on the Costa del Sol currently?
The biggest thing both on the Costa del Sol and nationally that we also see on the national comments and congresses that we go to is that agents are struggling to get properties in. There's a lack of properties, which is a little bit different from how it used to be. I mean, after COVID, everything has been selling, and there's actually a lack of property. While before that, in my 24 years in this profession, we always had lots of properties available. We could have normally around 300 resale properties listed in my company, while we now have about 100. But I think the medium from agents now is like that they have around 10 properties listed, which is not a lot to choose from, no? So I would say that is the struggle. But it's on the other end, because before, when there was lots available, the buyers discarded properties because they didn't like the shape of the pool. Now they're grabbing things just because it's available. So that's supply and demand.
Yeah. Would you say that the demand is growing year by year? How do you see that?
Yeah, I think so. And I did actually an article for one of the Swedish publications here, probably about 6, well, I do it every month, but about this topic. And I was thinking, just from Sweden, I'm from a little city called Gothenburg in Sweden. No, it's a city of about south of Malaga. When I lived there, it was about 500,000 people, but that's 20-something years ago, so it might be more now. But then, in the 90s, there was one flight a week that came from Gothenburg. Now I think it's at least one a day. And we'd made a calculation of just how many more people were coming easily to the Costa del Sol, just from my little city, now than then. And then if we multiply that with all the flight connections that are from the whole of Europe, easily accessed, even from America now, you can see the growing demand is here. And then you can see the logic in why there are so many buyers for all the properties that are being started.
Yeah. And that is from Sweden. If we talk about Holland, I mean, from Dutch hubs, several daily flights are regularly cheap flights, national airlines, everybody is flying.
Exactly. Access, communication, infrastructure. I mean, when I came to Spain in the end of 1980s, we were living in Benalmádena, and I think it took like an hour almost to get from the airport to Torremolinos, because you had to go through Torremolinos, you have to go through, and if you wanted to go to Puerto Banús, you had to go first through like the center of Torremolinos, through the center of Fuengirola, because the highways that we have now around weren't there. And now the infrastructure is so fantastic, so it's easy to get around, all connected. So we have like the Costa del Sol is almost like one big urban area now.
How would you summarize 2025 for GIPE?
Especially proud of that we've achieved a lot of new members. On a yearly basis, we've been going up between 15 and 20% every year in the last 3 years, which is quite interesting and nice. More networking event. We also went and did a very nice event in Barcelona this year. It was nice. We also had a presence in Emocionate, which is the biggest real estate event, Spanish-speaking real estate event in the world. It was quite nice. And also the networking events that we do in our office in Malaga once a month. I think that's been a tremendous success. We have people connecting from all over Spain to watch them, and a lot of people coming to be present. And then we have a nice networking cocktail afterwards when business is made, and people get to see a lot. We now have soon in the end of December, we have the next one, I think, and that's a nice time to go, because then you can see the Christmas lights in Caelaris as well as you go in.
As a vice president, what are your tasks? What do you do for the organization?
My things, I'm really work-wise, I'm a lot more boring than I come up here probably, because my things are the certification courses, and all the time following up with new regulation, laws, and that sort of what I like to make compliance. Yeah, it sounds very boring, and probably it is for most people, but I like it. So that's what I've been doing, is apart from representation. Then organizing some networks events, but we do all together in the board, obviously, and everyone has the little different things, different specialities.
And how many members are you in the board of directors of GIPE?
At the moment, we're 6 people with the international background. We have representation, both Spanish, obviously, Dutch, Swedish, Liechtenstein, Swiss mix. So it's a nice international mix that is attracting a lot of attention, and we have a really good flow, I think. Especially with you in there as well, who's our queen for networking. The special quality.
Thank you very much. It is an honor to be in the board of directors of GIPE. I'm very proud of, and I'm taking my position very seriously.
Yeah, I know.
What are the most exciting things you're looking forward for 2026?
What would be most exciting for me, if it were to happen finally or not, is that we would get into Andalusia again a new obligatory real estate license, which has been on the go since 2019 with the pre-project and so on, but they don't seem to get onto it because there's some forces that are working against it. But for us, we think it would be very good. So GIPE, together with other associations, are lobbying hard for it. We had the obligatory license coming in Catalonia in 2010, where GIPE was actually part of forming that law. Same in Valencia and in Baleares. And if we do, GIPE will do the same thing as we did in those communities, actually registering all our members collectively into the new registry. So that's also another service that GIPE actually provides for the agents that are in autonomous regions that require the license, that they actually do all the paperwork and get them registered. So if that will happen, I'll be excited. But also, GIPE is also working on a European level for this. So GIPE is also the only association that actually gives out a new European quality seal, MMCEPI, because GIPE has been for many, many years a member of the European, what should we say, the Association of Associations, which is CEPI, which has its office in Brussels. And we've been working very hard with setting the standards, but it's very difficult to set the same standards for 27 countries with different markets and different anti-money laundering procedure and so on. So we've been working a lot with that in the last years. And at the moment, this is also something that is included in the membership of GIPE to get the quality seal, which at the moment is something new, but in a few years you will see the same seal on the real estate agents in Sweden, in Holland, in Germany, in Bulgaria, and so on. And if you have it at your door, that's the sign of quality and trust, and that we want to convey to the clients.
Yeah, like an international cover, right? Right,
yeah,
like
exactly.
an international brand, an international standard of code of ethic, of way of working, professionalism.
Exactly, and what we're working on there now with Brussels is just to set the rules for next year of the continuous, courses, so that people keep doing courses, keep updating their knowledge. The same as in GIPE as well. I mean, we do, for example, the anti-money laundering course when people enter, but by law in Spain, you should actually have all of your team in your company doing a refresh course at least once a year on this matter, and those we also give in GIPE, which is quite. It's during a day. We do it in Spanish or in English. We separate those two because otherwise it's too much. There's also an added value.
Are you working on any exciting project? What is the short-term future of GIPE? Can you say something about that?
Well, at the moment we have a project. We have a few different projects. One is actually on a European level again, a software that is sort of sponsored by the European Commission to make it easier for the compliance of anti-money laundering. No, so it's just basically a tool that will work in all of Europe for that. So that's quite exciting. That's just being launched now. And then we have also a project together with the University of Marbella, do a course for real estate agents, which is quite exciting. But I'm not responsible for that, so I don't know so much of it, but I think it's exciting.
If you are not at the board of directors as vice president of GIPE, what do you do, Christofer?
Well, I'm an estate agent, obviously, and I have my company called StartGroup that was founded in 2003 with 3 offices on the coast, and we're basically serving both the local market and the international market with everything you needed within your property purchases and more, post-services or post-sale services and all of these things.
Thank you for coming here today and answering all my questions. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. Absolute pleasure to see you again.